You're most welcome to the interview segment of today's episode. Our guest is architect Kabiru Ibrahim. He is the president of All Farmers Association of Nigeria. Architect, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Just on a lighter note, an architect who is now the president of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. Tell me, how did that start?
Well, to begin with, there is a nexus between architecture and agriculture. Even from the days of Adam and Eve in Eden, they needed shelter outside food.
That's right.
So, and architects are in the business of providing shelter. So there is a good marriage between that. And then in Nigeria, and in fact all over the world, the greatest farmers are not agriculturists. The thing that is in the business of agriculture is passion, your interest, more than any other thing.
As it were, Nigeria just turned 63. Are you satisfied with where we are today as a farmer?
Well, look, we have a mixed grill of successes and failures. But I would like to make you aware of two important issues. The period to which I referred when we began this conversation was a period when the population of Nigeria was hardly 45 million.
That's right.
Today we are in excess of 200 million. Now, we have registered a lot of successes. And what comes to mind is groundnut pyramids and all that the LBAs used to keep until they exported. They were not government farms. They were people who were buying from farmers and aggregating and keeping to, because that time we were not adding any value to any of these things. So we were sending the raw crops abroad. Now, the policies that I remember and that played a very vital role in agriculture in Nigeria began from the OFN, the Operation Feed the Nation. Then we had this was, I think, by Obasanjo. Then we had the Green Revolution, and then Babangida did a number of things. He brought Nalda, he worked a lot on agriculture and all that. Then we came to so many policies from Obasanjo again, when he became a civilian president. And then we had a very prominent policy, which is the ATA, which was made very popular, is the agricultural transformation. That really woke everybody up to the reality that the oil that was discovered in the 70s was not the answer to our economic growth. A lot of work was done, a lot of innovations. The smallholder farmers were supported in very many ways. And then came the APP, the Agriculture Promotion Policy of the Buhari days, which really put agriculture on the front burner because the CBN actually developed the Anko Brower, which tended to bring a lot of money into agriculture. Now, some achievements have been made, but some wasteful expenditure was done. Now we have a state of emergency on food security. When our population was small, it was not very easy to see that we had a serious deficit.
That's right.
But when our population blossomed, it was very clear that we needed a lot more food. But our attention was going into importing the food because we had abundance of oil. We tended to even abandon agriculture because of the oil. When we woke up, it was a bit late and there were many preparatory things that we should have done, i.e., we should have embraced mechanization. Because, I mean, you are interested in agriculture because I've been seeing your programs discussing agriculture with so many people. But many people your age think that agriculture is a chore that has to be done to just feed oneself. Nobody thought that you could do business with it. It's only these days that from ATA, that we began to look at doing agriculture as a business.
Let's talk about value addition. Are you as a farmer in any way satisfied with the level of value addition, most especially when it comes to our food crops?
Nobody in Nigeria, not even a farmer, will be satisfied with what is happening. But there are so many inhibiting factors. When you add value, you need energy. We don't have steady supply of energy, therefore we cannot add value. We need to embrace a lot of STI, science, technology, and innovation, to be able to do value addition, sustainable value addition. So the stage of value addition in Nigeria is abysmal. In fact, most of our people export our crops in their primary form, and the farmers get nothing. We get pittance. Anytime you export what you produce in its primary form, you get nothing.
Sir, before we took the break, you run us through issues that bother on value addition and where we are today. You know, are there any policies being put in place or being galvanized towards seeing that come the near future, you know, looking at it from probably an immediate, a mid, and a long-term process, we take care of some of these problems?
We have to look at the gamut of things to put right to be able to get to the promised land. You see, the Ministry of Agriculture, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, is only supposed to create the enabling environment for agricultural production, for productivity. But the states and local governments have to coalesce with the center to be able to make Nigeria food secure. So it is a clarion call to every arm of government to really come on and embrace agricultural productivity, so that we will get at least food sufficiency before even attaining food security. Now, in the short term, what we must do is to scale up our productivity. In the medium and long term, we embark on value addition when we can export what we produce and reduce what we import. That way, our currency will gain strength. We will see a lot of growth in the economy. Mind you, agriculture is still a very, very good player in the national economy. So to harness that, you need to embrace all these things. Now, you mentioned an area where the average farmer should really concentrate on, and that is agribusiness. We must be able to look at agriculture as a business. Whatever you do in Nigeria, you must factor the smallholder farmers. The smallholder farmers are the engine room. We have very few commercial farmers in this country. But as things go on, then the number of these smallholder farmers will contract. This is what has happened in Europe, in the Americas, and all that.
Looking at unemployment, looking at mechanization, and looking at agriculture as a sector in Nigeria, how do we marry this and clean our streets?
So for agriculture to be more impactful, it's got to give sustainable employment to people. Mind you, government is only 20% of the economy. The private sector is 80%. And out of that 80%, what you get from agriculture is in excess of 50%. So if you do value addition, you are able to export your products, you do good agricultural practices, you deploy or embrace technology, good science and technology, you will be able to scale up productivity, you will be able to unleash processing and exportation of what you process. Therefore, you will provide more jobs to the young people who think that agriculture is a chore and is a blue-collar job. So the nexus between agriculture and economic growth, which comes with it employment, is very, very strong. Any work that anybody does to accentuate the possibilities in agriculture is germane to our economy. Today, Nigeria is in excess of, the population of our country is in excess of 200 million. We are grappling with food security. In 2050, the population is projected to be about 400 million. What are we going to do? So we have no choice. To tell you the truth, I have written various papers, various positions that no amount is too much to invest in agriculture. In fact, if I was the president of this country, I would put 50% of my annual budget to agriculture. This will be for a short term. After a while, it would pick up and the interest of the private sector will be so reinvigorated that government does not need to put anything again.
Do we have that kind of arable land for
Look,
that level of investment?
Nigeria has over 84 million hectares of cultivable and irrigable land. We are just using 40% of it. You can see even my mayor proclamation, the current president said they were going to expand the cultivable and irrigable land by 500,000 hectares. He just said it without having sufficient data and all that on what can be done. I know that this can be quadrupled if, for instance, NALDA was actually doing what it was supposed to do, what it was conceived to do. Work shall have started on expanding the cultivable and whatever land you need. So this is work in progress. We must do it because our population is increasing.
Well, architect, what's your parting shot? Because Nigeria just turned 63. What do you have to say?
I think we should be more proactively involved in building the nation. We should not say that we are from here, we are of this religion, we are of this race, we are of this gender, therefore we will not do this. We should all collectively come together to build. It is for the benefit of our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. We must be our brothers and sisters keepers.
That's a good one. Well, our guest has been architect Kabiru Ibrahim, who happens to be the president of All Farmers Association of Nigeria. We have been looking at the Nigerian agricultural subsector, or sector as it were. We started right from the beginning as an independent country, right where we are and where we should get to.